And welcome back, listeners. If you just joined us, got Gibbens Robichaux in the house this morning. We're kind of talking fire business. He just showed me, and this is in a book or a magazine form?
It's a magazine form, yeah. Yeah.
Lee Martin, who passed away years ago, was an avid fire department member in he was the historian.
What's the first date they have on 1863 something? On the first page. It should be on the first page. To think how long ago that was, and Lee was able to find all of that information. It's just
I don't know, but the introduction, and listeners, let me tell you, if you can get your hands on this, I think everybody in Thibodeau ought to have one.
I'm sure it's at the library.
When the first firemen of Thibodeau rushed from the old market house on Market Street, now 2nd Street, in 1843, they had only a hand pump, along with a few ladders, fire hooks, and leather buckets. Although the firemen did not have the modern, efficient firefighting equipment of the present day Thibodeau Fire Department, their efforts sparked the spirit and dedication which carried through until today. On the following pages are stories about the people and events which made the Thibodeau Volunteer Fire Department one of the country's finest. It is the country's finest.
It's won many awards.
And it goes on to say the fire department was organized in the Thibodeau Fire Department was organized in 1874 and incorporated on September 7th of that same year. Several companies formed prior to this and served the community for years. At the start, the town of Thibodeau purchased equipment on April 3rd, 1843, along with 150 feet of hose and a dozen leather buckets, all of which were housed in the old market house. A committee was formed to receive donations to organize a fire company. A few days later, the company called Thibodeau Fire Company No. 1 was officially organized back in 1843.
Where were you, Gene?
Oh, man, I wasn't even. You were around. You were close. Thibodeau Fire Company No. 1 purchased a hand pump truck in 1859. Protective Fire Company No. 2 purchased the first gasoline-driven truck in 1915. And the 1890, they have a picture of the 1890 parade starting on the corner of Main and Jackson, which is a dirt road. Taylor Beatty. Beatty was the Grand Marshal. Beatty.
Taylor Beatty.
After the great conflict of World War I, the fire department continued to prosper and to enhance its reputation. Thus, on the occasion of a tribute to Charles Riviere, who had been the chief for 21 years, in March of 1927, Chief Evans of the New Orleans Fire Department said, from the way Chief Riviere had often spoken of the skill and worth of the local firemen, that the Thibodeau Fire Department was first in leadership, with the New Orleans Department coming in second and the New York Department third in line. Boy, I'm telling you, huh? And it goes on. They talk about the great fire at St. Joseph's Catholic Church.
You got some
I'm telling you, they show a picture of the St. Joseph's Catholic Church before and after the 1916 fire, which gutted, by the way, gutted that church.
Oh, absolutely. They got a picture of it, I think.
Yeah, here's the
They were able to save St. Valerie.
Yeah. But just, this is a Nichols State Library fire in 1963. Most of us remember that one well. The WOW fire. I
knew it was a library. You know how I knew it was a library? I saw volumes of smoke.
1920. Oh, get out of here. 1920 Chief, Second Assistant Julius Levy, Chief Charles Riviere, and First Assistant Eugene Knobloch back in 1920. 1974, First Assistant P.J. Nakan, Chief W. Duty Bernard, and Second Assistant Linwood Poupidou Benoit. All three of those guys are dead now.
Gibbs married P.J.'s daughter,
Chief Dutch Hoffman, parade, I mean, it just goes on and on. What a piece of history of the Thibodeau Volunteer Fire Department. You mind if I keep this copy?
No, I got it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I underlined a few things. You know, I was hoping Lindy would come, but when he does come, you can schedule it some other time.
Sure.
But my daddy owned where the new library is today. That's where the horses were to pull the cart for the fire, and they had the horses. I was Hoffman owned that stable, and they had a drinking trough there, and Mr. Hoffman, when he wanted to take a bath, he'd take his clothes off and jump in there.
Well, a lot of people did that.
I know. And the people across the street had a store, and they'd come to look, and they'd turn their head because they didn't want to see that. But the Lindy's has some stories about that though, because that horse, one horse was when he heard the bell ring for an emergency, he'd run to this place. They had a thing built there that would drop the thing on his back.
Yeah, he kind of helped himself get dressed.
Yeah, that's right.
To pull the wagon.
And he went straight to where the fireman was to take off with the fire. And buckets of water and leather buckets and water. That's amazing. And look at it now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And of course, this is in the name of the magazine or the book, whatever it is. It's called A Century of Service.
Yeah.
And this was back in 1974. So you got to add another 1874 to 1974. So you got to add another 30 years to this.
Yeah, that's right.
To update in reprint.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the magnificent history of this fire department back then, and you can understand why it is what it is today, because the dedication started early and it just carried on.
You know, if whoever decided that, it was probably after a terrible fire destroyed somebody's house. The same with medical care, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get your first Dr. Barker, whoever it was, the first doctor, go way back. Donshrew, huh? Wasn't Donshrew?
I have no clue. Yeah, Gibbons, that is way before my time. But it is about right for your time.
Born in the last century. I was born in 2 centuries ago.
That's right. You span a bunch of centuries, my boy.
Well, Lenny's going to tell us all about that fireman, but that corner was a stable, and the horses there were ready for the fire. But when they heard that fire, they knew they had to get on that, pull that corner on them.
But I tell you what, when you look, you got to look at how the city's grown.
Yeah.
And we were talking, the mayor, and we were at the, they had like a staff meeting yesterday for the student government, and the mayor was there, and Randy Pate, the new fire chief, was there, and they were talking about how long it had been a volunteer fire department, and the amount. Here's the good thing. Randy was saying there are approximately 190 frontline firemen.
Right.
And a total membership of 400 plus.
Yeah.
Okay. If the city of Thibodaux had to have a paid department versus a volunteer department, we would probably have 25 or 30 people at the most, if that many.
That's right.
And instead of 22 or 23 pieces of firefighting equipment, we would probably have 6 or 7.
That's all.
Yeah. I mean, because that's all that the money would allow.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, but because it's volunteer and because because of the millage and because of the fireman's fair, hopefully it can stay volunteer for many, many moons ago, because, one of the great things about being is there is no burden on the city of Thibodaux budget.
That's right.
For that. I mean, those guys, and that's why when you...
Oh, they've got national concern. I mean, national awards.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to think that the number of men involved, and they're ready, but when something catches on fire, they're there.
Response time is unbelievable.
We haven't had too many this year, and it's because...
No, Mr. Pate, Randy was on here last week and said it yesterday. Due to the warm winter,
that's right,
we didn't have the heater issues and the electrical fires that they would normally have.
That's right.
And see, so that's another good thing about warm weather.
Yeah.
That's another good reason to like warm weather.
That's Gene Richard weather.
I cannot stand.
Well, that night of the parade, it was the first night parade, 32 degrees. I went to the corner.
I know, Gibbons. I rode.
You rode?
Oh, I was miserable. I could not get warm.
We're waiting for the Thibodaux, for E.D. White Band to come in. They were down the road. I asked this man if I could sit in his truck. I couldn't. That's the coldest I've ever been in my life.
Well, I don't think the coldest I've been, but it's one of the coldest I've been.
A lady with a baby.
They get them all bundled up. They stay warm, but I mean, I cannot handle cold. I can't. I cannot handle cold weather. That's not me. No. I mean, we had a good time, but man, you talk about...
Just think when you're the Grand Marshal of his...
Oh, yeah, right. In fact, we've got the Grand Marshal. Speaking of that, we have the Grand Marshal coming on this coming Thursday with Chad Meir. Mr. Alan Savoy is going to be on, so we look forward to having him. And, of course, listeners, the fair kicks off, while we're talking about it, the fair kicks off May the 3rd, which is Thursday. Pay one price, Thursday 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. and Saturday 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will also be a 5K run Saturday, May the 5th, beginning at 8 a.m. 5K run walk, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. They put that 3.5-hour time so that I can walk it.
That's right.
It would take me that long to do it. Parade.
3 days.
Yeah, there will be animated cartoons Sunday at 11. That's the parade at 11 a.m. The theme is animated cartoons. There'll be don't forget the auction, $10,000 raffle drawing. May 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th at the fairgrounds. The fair hours Thursday, 5 p.m. to 11. Friday, 5 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. And Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. The auction will be at 6 o'clock on Saturday evening and, of course, Sunday after the parade. Food and drinks, I don't have to tell you. Gumbo, jambalaya, pizza, red beans and rice, chicken wings, chicken strips, hamburgers, Southwest egg rolls, hot dogs, corn dogs, chili fries, bowls of chili, boudin links, boudin po' boys, cheese sticks, apple pie, pecan pie, crawfish kickers, funnel cake sticks, French fries, shrimp creole, shrimp spaghetti, shrimp stew, mini crawfish pies, crab cakes on a bun, sausage links, sausage po' boys, cotton candy, ice cream, slush puppies, beer, non-alcoholic beer, soft drinks, water, fireman's punch, and daiquiri.
Henry sure doesn't like any of that.
Holy smokes, I'm going to starve all weekend so I can eat at the fair. Man, oh man, oh man, what a day that's going to, what a weekend, huh?
Absolutely.
Here's the entertainment, Snapper and the Fish Sticks on Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30, 8 to 11, Category 6 on Friday, 5:30 to 7:30, Junior Lacrosse, and something sneaky, 8 to 10, Travis Matty and the Zydeco Kingpins, 10:30 to 12, ISIS, Saturday, 12 to 2, way down south, 2:30 to 4:30, Don Rich, 5 to 7, Damon Troy, 7:30 to 9:30, Soul Survivors, 10:30 to 12, Tracy Lawrence, who's a country superstar, by the way. Sunday, 11 to 1:30, Classic Whitney, 2 to 4, 4-Way Tradition, 4:30 to 6:30, Good Feelings Band, 7 to 9, L.A. Rain reunion in memory of Bobby Ponville. So what an entertainment lineup, what a weekend it's going to be.
You're not playing a clarinet or singing, huh?
You don't have to worry about that. No, that's never, ever going to happen.
Last year I went there and said that Bobby Dixieland Band was playing. 2.5 hours, fantastic, I tell you. And, of course, the food around there, I don't eat very much, you know, but
I eat enough for both of us, Gib, believe me.
It's the most exciting thing, and the coverage is so great all over the country.
You better believe it. Listen, let me tell you, Fireman's Fair is a family affair. It is a family affair. Come one, come all. I just told you about the food and all the entertainment lineup and all the great rides. In fact, the rides are up. The fair, I had Holy Hour last night at midnight. The Ferris wheel was all lit up with one of them light shows and all that stuff, looking fantastic. So it's going to be a great weekend. Two things. Number one, a tribute to the firemen for all of the dedication and the hard work and the things that they do. Number two, it is their biggest fundraiser.
That's right.
So we need to go out and support them and show them.
Looks like the weather's going to be all right.
I think it's going to be a great weekend.
Oh, I think so.
I think it's going to be a great weekend. You know, probably some summer showers, but I mean, other than that, a great, great weekend. I already did it for the fair. There's your winner. I got to take the coupons with me. I'm going to give them to Nancy. Called it in already, babe. Beat you to the punch. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
For those that won tickets, they've already picked them up, but I need them to come back and get another book. I thought they were $10 books, and the books were $5 books, so they need. So
you need to get. Okay, those of you that won, we gave you $5. We owe you another $5 book, so come back up and get them. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Food tickets. I wish I could win that.
You don't eat very much. I know you don't eat.
Yeah,
much,
right. Not just.
Gene, I got to tell you a few things about New York. Okay, Tim and the band went up to New York, and it was a Edie White, magnificent. He said, and of course they left the hotel in their uniforms and walked down the street to what's the name of that place?
Radio City Music Hall.
No. Starts with a C.
Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall. Joanne says you always do that when you can't remember anything. Carnegie Hall. He says unbelievable. Everybody stopped to look at this band coming out there. But I have a couple of stories about New York. Joanne's niece, when her husband went to New York for the first time, and they took a cab from the airport down to downtown New York, and they got out of the cab, and when he got to the desk, he didn't have his wallet. He left his wallet in a cab.
Oh, my God.
In New York. No phone number, no way. No, the police couldn't help him, anything. But do you know what happened? That cab driver picked up another fare, and she saw The lady in the back saw the wallet and gave it to him. He came all the way back and brought it back to them.
My goodness, he got his wallet.
Boy, I hope he tipped him.
Can you imagine losing a wallet in New York?
All the identification, nothing.
I would die.
He had no phone numbers and nothing.
I would die. I was in New York one time in 1964 or 65. There was a National Newman
Yeah.
Club convention there, and I'd gone with Father Thomas Dowling, and we stayed at the New York Hilton.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was about a 3 or 4 day convention, and the only thing I remember, I remember a lot about New York. We went to Central Park, we went to Statue of Liberty and all that.
Yeah.
But back in those days, it was so doggone expensive.
I know.
And it's probably still like that today. I would assume people in New York got to make a lot of money because the cost of living is so high.
That's right.
You know, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
See, a lot of people like Rush Limbaugh left New York. He was paying like $6,000 a day or something, I don't know, for his program. The taxes in New York, but they keep having 8 million people there, you know? That's amazing. But Tim said one thing, no trash on the streets and no fat people.
Yeah, plus the fact it's one of the...
Everybody walks.
Well, they walk wherever they go.
Well, all you see is walking people and taxis. That's all you see.
Plus, it's one of the safest cities in the
right.
country. And that's hard to believe. But it is. I mean, you're always reading about the accolades of their police department and,
That's right.
and how it's ranked number 1, 2, 3 as far as safety.
You know how many policemen they have? 26,000.
Policemen? Mm-hmm. That's twice the size of Thibodeau almost.
That's right. It's tremendous. He said it was unbelievable how the kid, they went up in 4 buses and drove straight through.
Yeah, I'm too old for them bus rides. Hang on a second. Let me grab this call. There ain't no way. Good morning. You're live, KTIB.
Hey, Mr. Gene.
Hey.
I heard you said something about the tickets. Won some yesterday. I went and get them. I have a pack with 20 tickets. Those are the right ones, or?
Yeah, 20 tickets.
Well, a pack with 20 tickets.
Yes, that's what I have.
That's $5.
Come back and get another
one more pack.
Oh, okay.
Come on by, pick up another one.
All right, good.
We don't want you to go hungry, man.
Oh, no.
right.
No, I promised $10 tickets, and I thought they were $10 a pack.
And they're 5.
And I counted them yesterday, and they're $5 a pack. So I need you to come back.
You
and
bet.
get
Come back and get
Okay,
another
well,
one.
I
You
wanna
got it.
Get everything straight before I go.
You got it.
All right, thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Linda, you're being honest, Linda. Thank you. Plus, we don't want anybody going hungry this coming weekend,
No,
man.
Gene Richard never goes hungry.
No. I'm telling you, I'm gonna save up all my calories and all my my fat content and all that for this weekend. What?
Here's a tidbit that you would not believe. In the United States, we'd eat 1 million eggs a minute.
What?
60 million eggs an hour in the United States. You got 310 million people.
You ain't got that many chickens.
No foul remarks from you.
You ain't got that many chickens, Gibbons.
Golly, can you imagine that? Well, when you look at any recipes or anything, restaurants, imagine the eggs that we use. And the poor roosters and chickens, you know?
The roosters, I don't know nothing about, but the chicken sure catch hell. Them hens catch hell.
A rooster can create 12 eggs a day. Well, that's something, huh?
How many eggs? 1 million a minute?
1 million a minute. And they got, in Mississippi, they got one of the largest chicken farms in the world, like 30,000 chickens.
Well, all of these things now, and we have Mike Hebert was on here. We were talking about that. That industry is so, technology-wise, is just unbelievable the way that they can do it.
And they have to feed those chickens every day.
And now the biggest thing is,
and clean up after them.
I was watching. When was there was some show on, I don't know, I don't sleep half the time. I was up watching it. Anyway, the new trend is not to put chickens in cages in all of these farms, but to let them range, roll free.
Yeah.
And they call them cage-free eggs or whatever it is, where the chickens just lay on the ground like they used to, or in a nest, open air or whatever, instead of these large brood chicken egg factories. That's the latest. That's the green way to do it.
So you're going to start raising some chickens?
Not anymore. I don't know. I may go back. I raised enough chickens in my life. I used to enter the chicken at tomorrow contest.
Fried chicken.
Oh, yeah, and all that
great
stuff.
meals, huh?
Oh,
you don't eat
I just
that
can't
kind of
have it no
stuff,
more. No, I hadn't had fried chicken in a long, long time.
That's great.
Not saying I don't want it.
No, I know.
Can't have it.
I know you can't, but you could have one a month.
But I do eat eggs.
Huh?
Can eat eggs, yeah. I like eggs.
Yeah, 3 eggs a week we eat, 3 eggs. How do you like them? Fried?
Anyway,
Scrambled?
half raw. I like them runny.
Fried.
If I scramble them, I like them real runny.
Yeah.
If I fry them, I like them runny.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
And a white piece of bread to dump in.
Now,
in there.
the best way to fry eggs, and you can't do this too often, but the best way to fry them is fry your bacon first, and then you throw your eggs in the bacon grease after, and you fry them till the ends get crispy. The end of the egg is
the taste of bacon.
Man.
You're not going to do that with
You can go right from the breakfast table to Thibodeau Regional.
Yeah. you fix your own breakfast? That's fast.
Oh, yeah, I like to cook. Yeah, I do that. I do. I mean, I like to cook.
That's great.
You know, I got a little kitchen in my garage, and I'll fix breakfast whenever we home need breakfast. Yeah, I like to do that.
That's fabulous.
But I like eggs. I just can't have too many of them.
No. Well, when you stop and think, that's somebody else.
Right. Hang on a second. Let me grab this call. Good morning. You're live, KTIB.
You know what Debbie Melvin is thinking now? You can't, don't give out all your secrets. She's fussing right now.
But you know I'm right, Kevin.
I think it was last week she was on and you was out. Man, they were talking about you, Gene. I had to call and take up for you.
You stood up for me?
I sure did. She said, "You taking up for Gene?" I said,
"Absolutely."
She's like out bacon and eggs.
Am I right? Is that the way to fry eggs or what?
Oh, that is right.
Oh,
Debbie, millions of eggs they eat a day.
She roll over.
Yeah, but you can't.
She's fussing right now, I guarantee you.
Yeah, but you
Y'all
can't.
ever go?
Hang on, Cal.
You can't compare those store-bought eggs to chicken eggs from the yard.
No,
They're
you
the
sure
best.
You got to have the brown eggs with that
That's what I got.
yellow yolk. That's what it's got to be.
Those
Man.
brown eggs.
I have 60 chickens in my backyard. I know what they are. Range chickens. John turns them loose every day at 5 o'clock.
Man. and Kev, make your omelet. Make you a good omelet with some onions and some bell pepper and some cheese and some shallots. Oh,
Why do you want to start talking about that? You haven't eaten breakfast
Don't
yet?
get no better than that.
All right, Gene, y'all have a good
Hey, thank you, Cal.
All right.
Appreciate the call.
Gene Richard gets up at 4:30 in the morning. I know he cooks all that and then he goes.
I don't. I get up before. I don't.
You don't?
I have a Spartan. I'll have cereal or something for breakfast most of the time. But like on a weekend, I'll splurge. I really will. Hey, we got to take a short break. But you can't. Oh, man, Kevin's right. But oh, Lord. We'll be right back here at the balcony, 6:40 a.m., KTIB. Whoa, welcome back, listeners. If you just joined us, got Gibbens Robichaux in the house. We got a bunch of people calling in. We talking a little bit. Why do you start me talking about food?
You and your eggs.
Huh?
I'll tell you about your eggs, huh? God, what a marvelous
I'm telling you, if I'd have known I'd live this long, I'd have took better care of myself along the way, man.
Gene, we have only two things which start with the letter T that are the most amazing things ever created. The tongue and the thumbs. What would you do without a thumb?
Oh, no, the prehensile hand. That's what separates us a lot from other, what do you call it, other species.
That's right.
Yeah, with the thumb. And the tongue.
10,000 taste buds. You can taste anything, Gene.
Shoots, I do.
Eggs with bacon.
Huh? Well, what's wrong with that?
You can eat bacon. Don't eat bacon.
Every now and then I can. I can't have it every day, but once or twice a month I can.
Oh, it's a marvelous thing, I tell you.
And I get the low sodium one or whatever.
I love that idea of cooking the egg in the bacon grease. That's great.
That can't be the first time you ever heard of that.
No, next time you call me next time I walk over there and
Well, just come to our house on Sunday morning, buddy boy.
you go to 7:30 Mass, huh?
No, well, yeah, I've been going there, but I've been also, it all depends. But yeah, you just let me know you're coming, I'll have breakfast for you.
Oh,
That's not a problem.
You're so sweet.
Bacon and eggs and toast and juice and maybe even a mimosa. Who the heck knows, huh?
How you like your coffee? You like your coffee strong or you like coffee hot? How many cups you drink every morning?
I try to drink 3 to 4 cups because coffee is good for you.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I'll drink it any kind of way. I'll drink it black with nothing in it. I'll drink it with just cream. I'll drink it with just sweet. It don't matter. I like coffee, period. Hang on a second. Let me grab this call. Good morning. You're live, KTIB.
Just had to call and talk to my two best friends, Gene.
Mr. Lindy Hofman.
Yeah, how are you this morning?
Fine.
I read a little article in the newspaper a couple of days ago that Bill Elsie put in, and it's about a bunch of oxymorons, and I thought maybe you might be interested in them. Did you read his article?
No, sir, I didn't.
Says, I planted some bird seed. A bird came up. Now I don't know what to feed it. And then he said, I had amnesia once or twice. And he says, protons have mass. I didn't even know they were Catholic.
Oh, Lindy, you said...
Hey, you were supposed to be on this morning.
Oh, well, here I am. I'm using the electrons to do
Oh,
this.
okay, all right. Gibbons was saying that you and Ted were supposed to come on.
Yeah, I called Ted last night, and he must have thought I meant Friday, you know?
Yeah.
So we're going to get you back on, because we need the history of the Hofmans and music, and we need a history of music in Thibodaux, you know?
Oh, well, we'll be very happy to do it. But let me give you another one. All I ask is a chance to prove that money can't make me happy.
True story.
Experience is the thing you have left, and everything else is gone. They told me I was gullible, and I believe them now. My weight is perfect for my height. It varies.
That's right.
Yeah?
I used to be indecisive. Now I'm not sure. Is it me, or do buffalo wings taste like chicken?
Oh, Lindy, where you found all that, Lindy?
Right in the good old newspaper.
Hey, I'm reading Century of Service by Lee Martin. The Hofman man that they talk about, is that your dad or that's your grandfather?
Which one what do you...
I lost the place now. Oh man, back in the 1800s.
Okay.
That would be your grandfather.
Well, my great-grandfather emigrated here from Wilsenburg, Germany.
Dutch Hofman, Chief Dutch Hofman.
Oh, Dutch. Dutch was one of my uncles.
Okay, all right.
There were several people in... he was the grandson of old Frank Hofman, who emigrated here.
Okay.
And Dutch Hofman was very serious in the fire business. And then it all started with him from the fact that the original Frank Hofman, and there were so many Franks. I mean, I don't know why they confused everybody with naming everybody Frank, but the first Frank had a livery stable, and the livery stable occupied the space in Thibodaux from 5th Street to 6th Street and bordering on Jackson Street.
And he's the one who trained the horse.
Yeah, well, actually what he had was a livery stable because he did an apprenticeship in Covington before coming here, and he established a big livery business, which was equivalent to the automobile dealer because there were no cars
Right,
then.
that's correct.
And so he would build, rent buggies and horses and so on. And one interesting little thing about him was he would tell the people who rented his horses, you know, he dearly loved the horse and don't abuse the horse. And this one salesman came into town and he rented a horse and buggy to go to Labadeville and back. And when he got back, the horse was all lathered. And he accused the man of running the horse. And the man just adamantly said that he did not run the horse. He said, well, look at the lather on the horse. He said, horse doesn't work up a lather unless you run him. And so he took the buggy whip off the buggy and whipped the guy out of town.
Oh, Lenny, you something. You called Ted and asked him why y'all didn't come this morning. He thought I meant Friday, I guess.
Yeah, well,
We'll call you back.
I'm just happy to participate electronically.
Absolutely. His name, Dutch's name was Frank too. He said he was raised to be chief, and he had a goat. He had 2 goats. Well, young Frank had a hose cart pulled by 2 goats built for him by his grandfather. With his cart, Frank rushed off the fires. His grandfather would tell bystanders that someday this young man would be chief of the Thibodaux Fire Department. In 1907, at the age of 16, he joined the Protective Fire Company.
Right.
That was a long time ago.
And the unique thing was that he had a horse trained.
That's what you were telling me, yeah.
Placed in a stall in his livery, and the horse, there was a wire extending from his livery business to the fire station, and whenever a fire would break out, the volunteer would go to the fire station, pull the wire. It would automatically lift the gate to the horse's stall. The horse would run through an already positioned harness and run to the fire station. They'd hook him up to the fire engine, and away they went.
That is unbelievable. Unfreaking believable.
Well, we had a movie of that.
It's ironic that sort of happened throughout the United States. I was in Portland, Oregon, and whenever I went on a business meeting, I'd always nose around and see what I could find. And I went to this fire museum, and then the woman who was in charge says, "Oh, I want to show you something that you have never seen before." And so here she takes me to a stuffed animal pulling a fire part, and she started to explain to me the same story I just related to you. I said,
"Oh, man.
My great-grandfather used to do the same thing." She couldn't believe it. She thought Portland had the only one in the world.
Awesome story.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman.
Thank you.
More stories some other time.
You bet. Thank you so much.
I'll have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, what you got? We got to run. We're over time.
That's all.
We're done?
Yeah, we're done.
Gibbons, thanks for being with us this morning, as always.
I had a recording of the band, but we'll wait till they come back, all right?
You got it, buddy.
We'll call you.
Thanks for listeners. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed talking fire department stuff, because we sure do. It's Thibodaux Fireman's Fair Week here in the city of Thibodaux in the KTIB 640 AM. God bless you today. God bless you every day. Do something nice for somebody today. Thanks for allowing us to be part of your morning. www.thibodauxonline.com. You can go, we're recording it. We'll save it for posterity. You can go back and catch it at a later time. We'll see you tomorrow here at the balcony, 640 AM KTIB.